Hello, Craftin' Buddies. It's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you on Wednesday, July 16th, just before 11:30 p.m. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin. So, Late Night Lori has been crafting almost the whole day, it seems. It's not. It was just since this afternoon. But I was doing this virtual album retreat. So if you've been following me, you know I've been doing my little short or not so short ads sometimes for this virtual album retreat. 3 days. They actually finished early. It was supposed to run Mountain Time from 2 p.m. until 10:30 p.m. And I started a Central Time here. It would have been 3 p.m. and I think we were done around 10 our time, but it should have gone to like 11 or 11:30, which was fine. I mean, we got a lot done. The first presenter went really fast. So I think they probably got ahead of their schedule. We didn't really take breaks. We didn't take a break for dinner. Took like 5-minute breaks between the sessions. So really we did 4 2-page spreads. So we did January, February, March, and then June. The first one we started with was February, and I'll show you them kind of in calendar order from what we did. I did parts of January and February. I pretty much finished March. And I didn't do anything with June. My intention for this was actually just to watch the virtual retreat. I'm going to be doing a watch party in August with those local to me that couldn't participate this week. So I was just going to watch so I could, kind of have my bearings as to what the activities would be like. But I tell you, the presenters made this so easy. I'm not a big scrapbooker, all right? I've done a few spreads here and there. Some that I had a lot of fun with that I did for an event a few years ago, but it's not something I do regularly. So it's not something that is a natural thing to me. A lot of people do a lot of memory keeping, not so much for me. So rather than actually do any cards or projects tonight, I'm just going to show you what we worked on today. Now, I guess I'm going to start with the June one because that's the one I didn't touch at all. Each project came packaged with everything you needed for that layout. So there's 12. This is called the month by month virtual retreat. So all of the parts and pieces were pre-cut, except for trimming that you might need for anything that goes over the page. So you get all of the little parts and pieces. Now this particular one is designed to be like a horizon layout. So something like this. This isn't how it's actually going to go, but something to this effect. And I don't remember exactly how these went down, but something like this. And then there's photo placeholders. And then let's see if I can figure it out here. I don't remember what these little pieces were for, because we don't have to die cut anything, but there are sheets of, oh, I should have grabbed those. There are sheets of the die cut items that we needed. We got page protectors, we got flip flaps. So everything we need for the project is in here. So I think there were some pockets on this one, and some of these things will go, on these various pages. So this is all the parts and pieces. And then we also got embellishments to do on the pages. But these are the die cuts for the months. So here's June. And these, I will show you in just a moment, are a heavier cardstock, not like the chipboard, not that heavy, but nice and sturdy. So these, I don't know if you can tell, but it's not like, it's much heavier than designer series paper, okay? These don't really flail around like that. They're harder than, they're thicker than, you won't even be able to tell, but they're thicker than the regular cardstock too, so they're substantial. And part of what this retreat is designed for is to help us learn different ways to dress up our pages. All right, so these die cut pieces were all prepared for us. There was a bunch of stamping on this particular set. There's some die cuts here, some laser cut things, and I'll show you some of those that I used already. These are all obviously pieces that I'll need for some of the projects coming up. And then aside from having exclusive designer series papers, there's also, I thought I opened the side of this, but I guess I did not. This paper here, I did a card with some of this. I like to have my packages open on the side so I don't have to continually fight with adhesive. So I will just leave that sealed. I don't want to lose my J for June. That would be a bad thing. But these papers, and you can see it probably maybe better in the package than when I pull it out. Maybe not. I'll add a little extra light. But they are basically pre-embossed. So my guess is we will be doing some ink blending with these and then buffing the shiny parts. So there's these sunbursts. And let's see if these other two are the same. I did a card with this one. And then this one has just like stems of leaves. So we'll be doing the same thing with these. I don't think we have to cut this down, but I'm not exactly sure. I think that's all that was in this package. It looks like it. All right, so those are pieces for this. So let me get this June one back in its bag, and I will show you January, February, and March. And you can see how far I did or didn't get on them. Like I said, my intention was to just listen, you know, watch, follow along, and then, you know, watch the replay later, because there's an exclusive group for watching the event, and then we can replay it anytime because that was part of the purchase price. So let's take a look at January. So everything came, each layout spread came in its own package with all the pre-cut pieces. So obviously these are placeholders where my pictures will belong. But we did some stamping, and I didn't finish this because I believe there's supposed to be some embellishments on here as well. But I did the stamping and I did some ink blending, cut the strips of paper on here. And then here is the second page to the 2-page spread. Move my little thumbs up. Whoops. Move my little thumbs up out of the way. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. That's what that's for. My granddaughter loves it. So anyway, let me see if I can move this over a little bit further. But when the presenter was demonstrating this one, it's basically designed so that this piece is more in the center of the page, and then these pieces frame it but to me that just didn't have the same flow. So I preferred mine with our stamped images. We had these little floral dot designs that we stamped at the bottom of the pages. I wanted, and I'll move this up a little bit more, I wanted mine to flow from one page to the next. Okay, so what I will do is, and none of these pieces are attached yet because I only attached the things on this page. I may end up adding my own piece of cardstock so that I can get this to look more of what I have in mind. Nothing wrong with making it your own, right? And I may have to trim those down a little bit, but basically it's going to be something like this. Now, this is going to become a pocket. These are going to be tags that can go in and out. And one of mine was supposed to actually be soft sea foam. So I don't know if I misplaced it or if I got two of these instead. So I'll be watching the replay for that. But all of these little shapes were pre-cut for us. We just had to stamp on them and then add some dimensionals and whatnot. These little scallop pieces were attached. So like I said, that's going to become the envelope for the tag memory pieces for journaling. And so that's basically this layout, which I thought was pretty fun. All right, so with these laser cut pieces for the months, you could actually switch out the month for whatever layout. There's nothing that says this one had to be January. If it looked better for April for you, you can certainly change it into what works good for you. All right, so that was January. And I'm going to put this back in the bag now because I don't want to lose those pieces because they're not glued on. All right, so that's January. And then here is February. And again, I don't have everything attached. These are some of my extra pieces just in case I have to do any kind of like paper surgery. And I did not finish my second page, obviously. So this is going to have like a little banner with the love on here. And these are all things we stamped. We stamped this. This piece came out of the laser cut piece. This will come in here. We stamped Happy Happy on here. So you can do some journaling there. You could actually either add a picture in here or another journaling page. But this is kind of designed so you can add a picture or journaling on there. And then when you attach it to your scrapbook page, when you put in the sheet protector, we were shown how to make it so that you could actually access this as a movable item without having to take the page out of the page protector. So that's going to be pretty fun. So I'm saving that for later. But these are all the strips that I will need to continue my design onto the next page. So I thought that was fun. This was the first one we did. We had to do some stamping on here. We did some stamping here. I thought there's stamping on this piece for this other sheet. So we did quite a bit of stamping, and then there was a lot of piecing with angles and that. So we actually did this one first. Now I added the black layer to this just so that this faves would stand out a little bit because it kind of got lost into the background for me, and I'm thinking, why didn't I just stamp on the page rather than a separate piece if that was the case? So I added that extra layer for some emphasis. And then March, now part of the time because I'm a putsy stamper, I was not trying to keep up. But I could pause the presenter, I could back it up, I could, catch back up if I needed to, but I figured since I'm doing my watch party later, I just let it run. And tomorrow and Friday, I'll do the same thing. So this is a 3-day retreat. I believe there are still kits left. So if this is something that interests you and you weren't really sure, but you're kind of thinking about it, just do it. It is kind of expensive, but you know, when you look at other scrapbooking kits that are out there that don't actually have the instructional video platform to go with it and teaching the techniques, and these are all pre-cut, there's no way for the price that I could have gone to the store, gotten all the parts and pieces I need, and then taken all of the time to kind of follow measurements to cut it out. It would have just been overwhelming. So to me, this is a great value, and it changed me from a skeptic to a fan. All right, so I've done a couple of the Stampin' Up scrapbook kits in the recent past, and I've thought they were quite nice. But this virtual retreat is really something. So I have not attached my little journaling piece here, but this is the March layout. And then I have not attached this either. The reason for that is these pictures are labeled so that when you add your picture, you're going to go here and look for the description. All right, so 1, I'm going to describe this picture, and 2, I'll describe this one, obviously all the way around the page. So I thought that was kind of fun. And I did some different things while we were doing the layout. So this is a patchwork layout that I think is just so appealing to the eye with all the different colors and the layouts, and doing some of the blending, the ink blending on here. We did some splatter stamping. The stamp sets that come with this, there's like 120, more than 120 stamp pieces between the 2 sets. And that is exclusive to this kit. So anyway, I was saying they do have some kits left. If you're interested, it's definitely worth it. So you get a whole year. That's why it's called the month by month scrapbooking album or virtual album kit. If you're interested in it, get a hold of me and I can help you with the order number and that. So some things that I did differently from the instruction was I added some ink blending to, I didn't attach this yet because I want to make sure my pictures will be able to slide under there. I added some ink blending to these flowers. I added some Wink of Stella. I don't know if you can see the shimmer to my little splatters there, but I also stamped off some ink for those flowers and added that to mine. And I also, originally I had stamped a partial flower over here, and when I put the pages together, I'm like, well, that's kind of silly. I should have the whole flower on here. So I lined it up and stamped the rest of the flower and the rest of the leaf on here so it would flow more between my pages once they're in the page protectors, and it will look more like it still belongs. So with some of this ink blending, we carried it from one side of the page to the other side of the spread. So this one so far is my favorite. But you know, I still have 8 more to go. So I will share some of the other pages as we finish them in the next couple of days. And I will also post some of these when I get them completed, or when I have them partially completed. I'll have pictures on my Facebook page too, which is also Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. So if you want to see some still pictures of those, you can kind of, zoom in on them maybe. But this is another thing that I did that wasn't part of the design, was stamped on there. And then with my little layer here, I kind of made that 3D so that the image is stamped up on that number as well. This was, to me, this was a fun layout. So I think this was probably the layout that I liked the most, maybe just because I finished it. But the February one was pretty cool too. And I'm looking forward to finishing that one as well. So I'm going to put this away so I don't lose anything else. But the kit's got the 12 two-page spreads. So you've got 24 spreads, or 24 pages, because it covers the whole year. So that's that. So March, February is pretty cool too. January, I love the colors. And then the June one, obviously, I didn't finish from tonight. I'm going to save that one. So that is all I have for you tonight. And if you are interested in scrapbooking, know that after this event, I will probably be including classes for those that are local to me, but also I'll have a little bit of a scrapbooking presence here through my YouTube channel and probably on Facebook as well. So that's all I have for you tonight. I'm kind of taking the day off from crafting anymore because I've been crafting since mid-afternoon. So until next time, happy crafting and thanks for stopping by.